Trinity Tots. I'm so glad that you've come to join me for a few minutes today for another lesson from God's Word. It's me, Pastor Ashley, and I'm here in one of our Trinity Tots spaces. I'm here in our Trinity Tots classroom for preschool, and it's so empty without you here to play with me, but I'm glad you're able to watch from home and we can still do a lesson together. We have a new memory verse today and a whole new unit of learning about the things that God has made in order to take care of us, because He is a good God who takes good care of us. So our lesson today is about how God gives us food. What's your favorite kind of food? What did you have for breakfast this morning? Do you like snacks? I know I like snacks. I had toast for breakfast this morning and it was good. Our story today is from the Bible and it is about God's chosen people, the Israelites. Can you say that word along with me? It's a big word. Israelites. Yeah, those were God's chosen people, and they were journeying to the promised land that He had given them. But they had a long journey. And while they were walking through the wilderness, they got hungry. Oh, can you rub your tummy? Yeah, I'm rubbing my tummy too, even though you can't see it. Oh, they got hungry. And they had eaten up all the food that they had brought with them. Can you hold up your hands? Like they're empty. The Israelites' hands were empty. They had no food left. There was no food around to eat. Shake your head. No food. Nope. And so the people whined to Moses, their leader, just the way we can whine to our mom or dad or babysitter when we're hungry. Can you cry? When we're hungry. That's what the Israelites did. But God heard what the Israelites were saying, and He took care of them. That very night, God sent quail into their camp. Do you know what a quail is? A quail is a bird. And God sent quail into the camp of the Israelites so that they could eat them for their supper. Say, good. Good. The Israelites really liked having the quail to eat. Now in the morning, when the quail was all done, the people were still hungry and they still needed something to eat, and God still provided for them then. He gave them something called manna. Can you say that word along with me? Manna. Now the reason that manna was called manna is because when the people woke up in the morning and they saw it on the ground, it looked like snow, little tiny like cracker crumbs almost. And they asked, "What is it?" And that's what the word manna means. It means, what is it? Well, the people gathered the manna up off the ground. Scoop, scoop, scoop into their baskets. Can you scoop with me? Scoop, scoop, scoop. And they used the manna and made it into cakes. Can you make it into a cake? Good job. The Israelites loved it. It tasted like honey and it was delicious. And every morning there was new manna for the Israelites to scoop, scoop, scoop into their baskets and make into cakes, because God provided good food for His people to eat. They had quail to eat in the evening, and manna came every morning. As I said earlier, we have a new verse today. Our new verse comes from the Bible, Philippians 4, verse 19. We hold our hands like this and open them like a book to remind us that our verses come from the Bible, which is God's book, His word to us. Philippians 4 verse 19 says that God will meet all of your needs. You want to say that with me again? God will meet all of your needs. Philippians 4 verse 19. I'm going to teach you a little rhyme with some actions that can help us to remember our new memory verse. Someone feeds you every day. Someone teaches you to pray. Someone holds you when you're sad. God will meet all of your needs. Philippians 4, verse 19. All right, let's look at some fun activities that we can do that will remind us that God gives us good food. Our first activity is to play with a toy kitchen. Do you have a toy kitchen like this at home? If you do, it can be a really fun thing to do, to use pots and pans or dishes and some plastic or play food that you can pretend to cook a meal of delicious food and thank God that God gives us good food. If you don't have a kitchen that looks like this, that's okay too. Maybe your mom or dad has some extra pots and pans that you can play with, or some extra items from the pantry that you can play with in a safe way and remind yourself that God gives us good food. If you have some Play-Doh at home, like this Play-Doh I have, you can have fun shaping it into little cakes, just like the Israelites would have turned their manna into cake. I bet you could make all kinds of fun play food to pretend to eat. We don't want to really eat Play-Doh, but we could have fun making all kinds of pretend foods to remind us that God gives us good food. For our last activity, my suggestion is that today you get a chance to get outside and have a picnic. I have a blanket here that I'm going to lay in the grass so that I can sit and have a picnic. And I brought my snacks with me to remind me that God gives us good food. I brought two things with me onto my blanket for a snack. I brought some applesauce because that's something I have in my pantry that I enjoy. And I wanted to talk about how is it that God gives us good food when really food like this is something that our moms or dads buy at the grocery store. And we keep it in our pantry and it's really tasty, but how does God give us something like applesauce? Well, applesauce comes from an apple. And the apple, yes, we get that in a grocery store too, but it comes from an orchard or a farm. A lot of the food that we have, that we buy from the grocery store, starts out on farms. And when farmers grow food on their farms, they need God to help that food to grow. And so God gives us foods like apples, and the apples get turned into applesauce. So the food doesn't really come from the grocery store, it comes from God, and we buy it at the grocery store. So Trinity Tots, I'm here at my home now, ready to have my picnic on my picnic blanket. Thank you so much for joining me for this lesson on how God gives us good food and how God will meet all of our needs. Philippians 4, verse 19. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you again at this time next Monday. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.